Hello, my friends. I want to just share with you today that we had such a beautiful walking meditation this morning on the beach. It's something that's organized by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's done a number of them so far. I think the first time he offered that, there were 130,000 people, I think, all over the world who were walking for an hour, all listening to a meditation that he has created and is offering as a free download. And then we all start at the same time, and then we walk. And this specific one is really walking for the new world that we all want to live in. And I just wanted to share that it is such a precious experience to share that. Well, with our group here in Santa Cruz, there were 15 of us. And just imagine, 15 people in little towns all over the world. That certainly adds up. And some of them are also bigger. But what I want to share about the beauty of that is to really just to take an hour with other like-hearted souls who all have the same vision for a world that lives in peace, that lives in harmony, where we leave the old identities behind and basically step into our true identity. Now, as you know, of course, we know this with the mind, but our true identity really is love and peace and all the lovely things that we may have experienced inside of ourselves over the years in smaller or bigger events or experiences. And when you just take a whole hour to just really tune in, because this meditation is like, it's to tune in to, I call it, the field or the grid or the heart or the divine. There is something that we all know that kind of has a click for us, right? When you tune into it, it's like, oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. And then we can stay with that. Yesterday's YouTube was specifically about tuning into the field. And that's why I thought this would be such a lovely follow-up, because today has been, was a big event all over the world, even though most people may not know about it. But it definitely has an impact on the world's energy when suddenly, I don't know if there were 130,000 today, but let's just say there were 50 or 100,000 that were just walking at the same time with that intention, tuning into the grid of the divine, the love, peace, the field, the kingdom of heaven. So many beautiful words for it, really, that all connect to our heart as the outlet. At least that's how I experience it. And then when we do together with so many people, something shifts. It has to, because as a community, we open up to the field like we talked about yesterday, and we just make ourselves available for it to come through. It has to come through a lot of the layers that we have identified with that are very different than the love field, the field of love itself. But the field itself, which is light, it just moves through the parts of us that are not light. And that seeming darkness starts dissolving. And when we do it with a group of people, like there were 15 of us, and then we connected afterwards and had a little potluck on the beach. It was a little cold, but it was sweet. And, and then there's a sharing of what the experience was. And for everybody, it was just this heart opening, joy filled. For me, it felt literally like I was dancing with the universe. So I just let my body move and dance as I was walking. So everybody expresses it and experiences it in their own way. And hallelujah, let's do more of that. Let's do more of that. So I want to just invite you to maybe join in that next time. I will put the link in the description below if you want to check in with Dr. Joe Dispenza and maybe sign up so that next time you will be notified. He does it just a few times a year with, all over the globe. In our group here in Santa Cruz, we do this once a month together. And as you probably know by now, for me, being in smaller communities with the same focus is very nourishing and nurturing and very satisfying and definitely inspiring, because when we hear others who are having the same experiences as we do with their own flavor, of course, then it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm not alone. Oh yeah, this is real. This is actually happening. It's not just something I'm making up in my mind. Something relaxes, and when something relaxes, we open up. I see the part that was not relaxed first. When that relaxes, we automatically allow the flow of the divine to come through us, our bodies, our hearts, our hands, whatever it is. So if there is a big benefit being with others, as if I haven't talked a lot about that already, but as you probably know by now, if you follow me on my channel, I do repeat myself a lot, and I think everybody does it because there's really two things going on here. There is the divine everywhere, there's love everywhere, everywhere, heaven on earth. The kingdom of heaven is spread all over the earth, but we can't see it. So it is here, and there's something preventing us from seeing what is already here. We focus on what we can see here in our mind. It has nothing to do with out here, but it's happening in out here. It's not separate from it, but it's as if we have turned away from it and are focusing on the shadow that we cast ourselves by turning away from the light. So it's really nothing, but it sure feels and seems like something, right? But as soon as we turn back to the light, then the shadow dissolves. So those are the two things that everybody is dealing with, is just coming back, turning back to the light, the love that we are, instead of turning away from it. And then we experience ourselves as separate from God, from love, from light. And we create a world that we don't like. I mean, obviously, right? Who likes to live without light and love and the divine? So it's so simple when I put it that way, and it's not an easy journey to unhook from what we have identified with the way as the world looks today. It's our own projection without the light. So the more we can bring light in, the more the projection will start dissolving. And then there is only one thing left, and that is love, because that's really the only thing that is here all the time and everywhere. So that is probably what I'll be talking about as long as I am inspired to do my YouTube channel. And for me, it's certainly been an ongoing journey for so many years, hearing it over and over and over and over in different forms and varieties, different words, different expressions, through silence, through music, through dancing, through walking, through studying, through meditating, many, many ways. Healing work, sound work, medicine work, so many ways to find a way to start dissolving the way we have projected something in front of us that actually doesn't really exist. And the more I have heard it over the years, my mind started believing that it's actually nothing. It's my own projection of a false identity separate from God. So the more my mind could start accepting that by hearing it over and over from people that I respected and that I felt were authentic because they're speaking from their own experience, there's again that part of me could start relaxing more, and then I could let it in more to the point where it started becoming more of my own experience and not just a mental hoping. It's a subtle shift that we all go through, and we can't compare with each other, but we can be inspired by each other just by hearing the various forms, and then start feeling more confident in our own form because we're also different. So the way we experience it is just as valid as anybody else's. So if you feel moved, reach out, find a group, connect with the group that I have every month. Sign up with Dr. Joe Dispenza for the next time he does a walk for the world, or whatever you feel moved to do. You might already know of groups that are in that similar frequency. Start connecting so you're not feeling so isolated and alone as this outer world is collapsing and disappearing, dissolving right in front of our eyes because it's not being fed so much. There's more light coming in, and that's why it has to dissolve. And nobody really knows what it's going to look like. It's like we just have to have our faith in the divine, in the field. And as we feel the field, there's also a sense of, I can trust that, because there's a sense of peace and resonance and in there that we feel like, yeah, this is actually trustworthy. So thank you so much for being here today.